Hi, it's good to see you. We have not been affected by the crazy storms. In fact, we have been spared graciously. Once again, I live in central North Carolina. If you zoom out here, I am just west of Winston-Salem. And my daughter goes to school in Daytona Beach. She was north of Jacksonville. She escaped the storm. And most recently, if I'm here, the areas that were hit the hardest, Ravi, were basically, these are the Blue Ridge Mountains here, and everything that sort of came through that way. So the rain, about 10 inches of it the day before, or just before that storm, and then anywhere from 10 to 20 feet of water came down through western North Carolina. It'll be probably 3 or 4 years before that recovers. So I hope you're safe and out of harm's way. We are a very strange company. We've existed now for almost 20 years, having started with a desire and a belief that most of the stuff that people are selling online is really rife with scams and marketing ploys and free trials and all of the things that most of you know at this point are sort of pipe dreams. They're people who are very good at offering hope, the promise of success. They have climbed over the mountain and they know this secret that they're willing to share with you for $20, $30, $40, $50,000. Many of you have paid anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 pursuing this holy grail, if you will, of knowledge. And so it really boils down to, I think, what you believe the operating system of the markets are. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you believe that the markets are operating with Apple as an operating system, and the code is really Microsoft Windows or Microsoft OS. If you believe that the market is running under Apple's mobile software, but it's really Android, you're going to struggle for a while. What is the underlying operating system of the market, right? What makes it drive and go? And so 98% of people sort of follow the wrong operating system. What do I mean by that? Well, what I believe and what I've seen for myself and what I'm going to hopefully prove for you today, we have the receipts to prove this is true once again today. You sort of have two schools of thought. All right, we'll separate our screen in half here. And then there are most of the people, I would say about 90% of traders, believe what I'm about to show you right now. The market is random. And the best we can do is follow behind the elephant using indicators and tools which are by definition lagging. And inside of this, we can put a bunch of things, right? We can say volume, we can say patterns, we can say trend lines, we can say support and resistance, you know, fill in the blank. And also follow fundamentals and news and reports. Everything that happens in the market is fair, and everyone, including banks, are reacting to the news in real time to come to an agreement about the fair value of an instrument. All right, that's sort of group number one, and about 90% of people I've discovered fall into that category. And this, by the way, if you want to make money selling courses and tools and indicators, or become an influencer, really drive into this. And I'm gonna put, that's what you're gonna tell people. And then according to our website, 5 to 10% of people believe markets are rigged. Institutions, power brokers, geopolitical juggernauts know the news and reports in advance and use theatricality and deception to create liquidity in retail pools, getting people to believe the market will go up as they sell into it, getting people to believe the market is dropping as they buy. Because of their size, though, they must follow time-based patterns. So that's a great and very boring way to start a webinar. We'll just sort of say this is A and this is B. And for close to 20 years now, this is what we believe. How many of you believe it's A, or how many believe it's B? Do me a favor, type into, we'll take a quick survey here right now. How many of you believe it's A? How many of you believe it's B? Or A and B? You can be honest, I can handle criticism, at least better than I did 20 years ago. Right? Apologies in advance. I have a much better health-wise position to operate from today. However, I do have some tickles in my throat still. So one of the ways that we sort of prove that is by giving people market times and directions in advance of the webinar. And so if you've gone through the website and you've put in your name and email address, you've gotten access to this page. What is this page? Well, this page had market turning times, buying and selling times in advance of the Wednesday and Thursday markets. Meaning on Tuesday, Rachel uploaded this chart, which is an output from the NinjaTrader indicator we're talking about today. It's called Tachyon Warp. And what the program was warning us about were those patterns that I believe exist. And so, for example, on the E-mini S&P futures market, on the 5-minute chart for the Eastern Daylight Savings Time Zone, New York, the East Coast of the United States, every one of these times emerged as a repeating pattern lately. When we asked the software to scan across thousands of historical bars of data, it came back and it said, hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but I do. And these times have a tendency to fall on the day that you're going to trade on Thursday. And so since Tuesday, the software was telling us for Thursday what to watch out for. And then sort of vice versa, all the times on the bottom of this histogram that were published on Tuesday for Thursday were evidence of a behavior pattern that was repeating frequently enough that an emotionless algorithm said, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hey, I'm over here at Tuesday, and I'm warning you, when we get to Thursday, there's a really good chance the market might push up at these times. Does everybody understand that? And how ridiculous and crazy and scammy that sounds? It sounds pretty ridiculous, pretty scammy, and really difficult to prove. Okay. Now, before we look at what actually happened today in the ES, in oil and gold, and we can look at Bitcoin, we can look at stocks, we can look at all the things, I wanted to raise your awareness of something I've been doing on our Facebook page. And so one of the things I've been doing is tracking almost turn for turn the movements of the market, in this case, the E-mini S&P futures, relative to 2008's historical patterns. And when you start to look at what happened in 2024, almost every single one of the patterns from 2008 played out. And I think the last post that I made was a prediction that the market would move up from September 25th until what is very much D-Day in terms of the 2007-2008 historical crash. And if you look at all of the turns that I posted from the 2008 patterns that are 16 years old, right? And you flash forward to this year, they're just about identical. The September 4th push down, September 4th push down, September 10th push up, September 9th, September 10th push up. There's these small turns, and then September 25th. So stopping at the 20th, down into the 25th, and then up. Stopping at the 20th, down into the 25th, and then up. This is a week-old chart. We're up now near the highs. And so now as we come into the daily chart, we see that these guys are following this pattern. Let's take a look at the daily chart. And if you believe what I believe, it's not really hard to be profitable, you just have to believe that these guys do what they say they're going to do. And so that signal on the 25th, Tim, you remember that signal? I published all of this into our room. Here you go. 25th into October 11th, which is tomorrow. So if you believed what we believe, then you knew about this turn, you knew about this turn, you knew about it slowing down here and going up here, you knew about this reversal and this reversal. Here's the thing, tomorrow is October 11th. What will happen? Because from here forward, if everything that we've been following and tracking was predictive, then something wicked this way comes as October 11th breaks and puts in an all-time high. Isn't it kind of funny that we just broke, coming into October 11th, Tim, Earl, Dave, an all-time high? What are the odds? What are the odds? They're pretty small if you believe what we believe. Or they're pretty large if you believe what we believe. They're small if you believe that markets are random and everything that's happening is random. So keep an eye on that. Here's where it gets really interesting. If we gave out the times 2 days ago, well, Ian, watch for selling signals intraday now. Watch for the telltale signs. Look for pullbacks into resistance. Look for low risk puts, right? Nobody's thinking about shorting right now in that first group. Very few people. It may not do it. It may go up another 1,000 points. But if you exercise risk control and believe what we believe, some pretty interesting stuff starts to happen. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look here. These are the times that were published 2 days ago. And this is where people really start to sort of melt down. And what I'm going to do very quickly is just point out a few things. This chart was published 2 days ago on Tuesday. 9:20 is the sell signal. 2 days later, it marks that sell signal at 9:20 with a blue dot. The next signal from the chart that we published for the largest, most frequently traded market in futures was the next signal at 10:55. At 10:55, the software, when we arrived there, marked the location that we had been waiting 2 days for. The next signal after 10:55 was 12:10. 12:10 was a signal that came straight from this thing from 2 days ago. 2:20 Eastern is a signal from 2 days ago, and 3:25 is underneath this chart right here behind my Microsoft or Chrome window. All of the times on this chart that we're looking at are predictions from Tuesday. They're not even predictions. That's a misstatement. They're behavior patterns that are implying future movement. They're behavior patterns that are implying future movement. So in the entirety of the signals for the US session, we were expecting a drop at 9:20, a rise at 10:55, a drop at 12:10, a rise at 110, a drop at 220, and a rise at 325. Does that make sense, everybody? So every day that I wake up and I do what I do on social media and I post into the forums that I post into and I become active on the Facebook pages that I'm active on, I tell people what to watch for. And I give out the times in advance. And I warn people that are historically struggling about what to look for. I put the times 4 hours ago for the next move up, down from 12:15 until 1:10. What percentage of the comments do you think are grateful and thankful and curious and inquisitive? And what percentage of the comments do you think are hateful, insulting, berating, and degrading? It's not even close. It's not, it's less than 25%. And I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for are the 10% of people who believe that this is true. That's what I'm looking for. Because when you believe this is true, some really interesting opportunities come in. Like at 10:55 when our live room closed today, I saw that right after we had a high close candle. Looked like a doji or a spinning top. And a lot of the times, most studies show that around 70% of the time where there's a doji, it's near a reversal. And I have a signal that I've been watching for almost 20 years at a doji, stopping after a predicted sell-off and just stalling. Okay, I know where the risk is. The risk is right under that candle. I know how long the trade has to move. I have from 10:55 until 12:10. And I sat there and I watched it and I watched it. And right here, it went sideways and drove me crazy. This is where everyone got out if they did get long. And I said, no, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 more minutes before I have to leave. That's a $17, $16 move. And I'll guarantee you, the majority of people said, oh, he was lucky. But remember, we gave these times out 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Yesterday was a pretty important day, wasn't it? Yesterday was one of those Ugats crazy days. What makes yesterday more interesting, at least to me, is the idea of predictability. Because we also gave the times and directions out 2 days ago for yesterday. Now, yesterday, whatever operating system you believed in was a perfect microcosm to test our theory. Because that's the big one. The FOMC meeting minutes are allegedly what everyone is watching for guidance. Will money be less expensive, as expensive, or more expensive to acquire in the future? What do the gatekeepers think about the state of the economy? Now, fun fact, the Fed is an unelected branch of the United States government that controls the economic engine of, for all intents and purposes, the pinnacle of capitalism in the world. These are men who met on an island in Georgia called Jekyll Island. I want you to really put this in context. The richest people in America got together and said, hey, what if we organize? They formed capitalism's OPEC and said, what if you and me and me and me get together and we secure our power? And these men, again, enough of them to fit in a few guest houses in a little tiny island off the coast of Georgia, are literally controlling the most powerful economic engine in the world. I think we're going to keep rates lower, higher, no, lower, no, higher. And the federal government says, okay, do you think that those guys didn't have a plan yesterday? Do you think the most powerful men and women now in the world, we're talking a handful of people, probably count them on your hands and toes, do you think they're not telling all their friends, everyone they went to Yale with, everyone in the Skull and Bones Club, all the guys that vacation in Kennebunkport and have yachts and mansions? You think they were surprised yesterday at 2 p.m.? Oh, look at that. The Fed didn't do anything with the interest rates. So our software said, hey, on Tuesday, before the report comes out, we're watching for buying pressure at 810, 945, 1055, 140, and 125. We're watching for selling pressure at 740, 845, 1010, 1150, and 205. This chart was added 2 days ago. 6 of you were watching it to see, is this lunatic at BTTFT got something, or is it more of the junk? And here's what took place. Here's what took place. In keeping with what we're teaching you, we also offered ways to trade with the times. And we gave you a video that described what we will be doing when we get together on Thursday with the times that we gave you below. Our stop is based on the average true range. If you're not familiar with average true range, it's a way of determining how big a bar on average is lately on each time frame. Like the VIX, it's a way of measuring volatility. If the length of a 5-minute bar is getting bigger and bigger, it means the volatility is increasing. If the length of the bar is getting smaller and smaller per 5 minutes, it means the market is contracting. The risk is lower and the potential reward is lower. It's sort of like a thermometer that measures water heating up in a pot and water cooling down in a pot. So around 8:30 in the morning, the average true range is around 2 points. Around 12:30, that average true range is 4 1/4 points, nearly double the size. And so what we said we were going to do was put our stop not one, but 1.5 ATR values away from the signal candle, right? Not one, but 1.5. So basically the size of a bar plus half more. And that should, in theory, put us right outside the noise of the market. Most people will tell you that if the market moves 3 ATR values away, that there is a verified trend reversal. Okay. We also know that 1.0 ATR values is sort of market noise. That's as big as a bar is lately. And so to be 1.5 is just outside the average bar movement per time bar. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, daily, and so on. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, cool. Now, again, following word for word, verbatim what we said. When we arrive, New York Open, 9:30, right? Ding, 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 ding. Here we go. The candle at 9:45. Let's blow up the background so we can actually see the numbers. Apologies for that. As I get older, it's harder to see those numbers. At 9:45, we're now relegated to the moving average, which is a 120 period EMA. If it's rising, we're buying. This is called a trend following system. Is it the only signal you can take? No, but we have to contain it with some kind of rule set. If we don't have any rules, we can't backtest it. We don't know what the profitability is. We don't know what the profit factor is. We don't know what the maximum consecutive number of losers or winners are in a broad data set, like 100 to 500, 600 backtested data points. We're shooting from the hip otherwise. And so we enter on the close of the 9:45 candle. We exit at 10:10. The window of time has closed. That's a 5 3/4 point move on the ES between 9:45 and 10:10. That move was coming based upon what? Based upon the signals that the indicator warned us about 2 days ago. Okay, so we're in the direction of the market. We're in that first window of time. We're going to reach in, grab as many crumbs as we can from the Jekyll Island guys and get out. When's the next window? From 10:55 until 11:50. It's a 55-minute window. What do? Well, the rules that we've been publishing, not changing or modifying for almost 20 years, say, hey, at 10:55, we're going to put our stop 1.5 ATR values away from the low of the candle. We're going to enter on the close and hold the trade until 11:50. That's $24, nearly $1,500 hypothetical dollars per contract, 150 per account with a micro. 11:50 comes, it's not a trend signal, but 140 is. And when we enter, it's the first one to hit the stop. And we give 6 of that $24, $29 back. When 325 comes, we're entering at the close of the candle and exiting by 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, the candle closes, and we get 4.25 points back from the 6 that we've lost. What is amazing to me is we didn't do anything but follow what the program told us was likely to happen on Wednesday with a rule set that we told you about on Tuesday. What that means, and this is, I think, really a gospel of sorts, it's good news, because one of the planks of a well-oiled marketing machinery platform involves a guru. Now, lately, the gurus are younger and younger. They're not gurus. I'm an influencer. This was a real trade. Look at my statement. Yeah, but what percentage of your income is from marketing, affiliate relationships with companies that do funded accounts, maybe, versus actual trading? How many of your customers are actually successful? One of those planks always involves a guru with secret knowledge. They're staring at a screen, doing their magical things that took them 7 years to figure out. I'm not involved at all in what you saw on the screen. I'm not involved at all. You had the times in advance. You had the rules. When to enter, when to exit, where your stop was. Can't move my finger any higher. It's really weird with my pinky down. There. So that's, I think, good news of a sort, because you didn't need me. And it was the same the day before. And it was the same the day before that. This is Tuesday, and this is Monday. Look at that one short from 210 until 250. It's a nearly 1,500 point move, $1,500 move. And so as we go farther and farther back in time, I want you to know one thing. Each of these times is 7 days old. You had them 2 days in advance, but every one of these signals was a signal I was waiting 7 days for. What does that mean? It means that literally right here, we have a karaoke song. This dotted white line is where we are in time right now. This is now. Everything to the left of that white line, what was expected? 1210 was expected. 1055 was expected. 220, 110, 325, and so on. All of these times are what was expected historically. Everything to the right of the dotted white line is what? What is expected in the future. And if I scrunch up my chart, I have 7 days of signals waiting for me. Let this soak into your profoundly baked noodle right now. 7 days of signals are waiting right now. They do not change, do not update, do not repaint, or disappear. I have the times right now for Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week now. Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds? If you believe the markets are random, but if you believe that there's somebody, a small group of powerful people pushing prices higher and lower, and that their knowledge, their mindset, what they're thinking is buried in the data, the patterns that they leave behind, we can fast forward and see those signals in the future. Holy crap. Pardon my French. But I think it adds even more importance to what happened today, because these signals are literally 7 days old. Do you understand? No matter what the federal decision was yesterday, no matter what the Fed decision was yesterday, no matter what the unemployment or the inflation rate was today, these times, 60, 70% chance they were going to drive down and drive up. Holy cow. And you didn't need a guru? What are we talking about? You can use different time frames. The lower the time frame, the more frequent the signals. There's our 3-minute signals published 2 days ago. We can go down to a 1-minute chart if you're a 1-minute chart trader, and it works the same. We see the times waiting for us in the future, and you can see what was expected at those times in the past. A lot of you trade 1-minute charts. Can you imagine if you knew the minds of the men and women who control the flow and ebb of the market you trade? What if you, for one moment, allowed yourself to sit outside of your preconceptions and say, hey, maybe it's possible to know what's coming next? You can look at higher time frames. Here's a 60-minute chart. What tends to happen at the 60-minute signals? Big moves. So for those of you that are looking at multiple time frames, you drive me crazy, by the way. I look at the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, the 1 hour, then I look at the 15, the 30, the 5, then I go back and I rub my lucky rabbit's foot and I pray to God I got it right this time. Just look at the 60-minute chart. I'm only going to take longs from 9 o'clock tonight until 10 o'clock tomorrow, or 10 o'clock Sunday night. That's it. Do the same thing for any other market. I trade gold futures. Okay, there's gold futures. It's the same thing. Well, I traded intraday on the 5-minute chart. There's the times for gold today on a 5-minute chart. We gave you those times 2 days ago. Everything I show in the webinar is based off of something I gave you 2 days ago. Gold 5-minute since Tuesday. These were the times we were waiting for: 10:15, 11:35, 10:15, 11:35, 12:05, 11:05, and 9:40. The very first signal on gold after the open. Ding, 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 ding. Long exit. $7.50 or $750 per contract. Yay. Well, what about the tough one, Michael? What about the one that breaks everybody's accounts? The NASDAQ 1-minute chart. Oh my gosh. hang on, because you're going to have a hard time with this one. These are the signals from this morning. Look at the very first few signals after the open. I'll help you out a little bit. We'll draw some lines just so you can see where the software warned us to look for the guys to do what they were going to do. That's the morning. Well, how do I know those are the signals, Michael? Because I published them 2 days ago. NQ 1 minute. There it is. 8:35, 8:41, 8:47. 8:35. Whoop, it starts at 9 o'clock. 9:01, 9:10, 9:32. 9:01, 9:10, 9:32. First signal is below the moving average. What do we do? Nothing. When's the next signal on the NASDAQ? 9:43. What color is the 120 exponential moving average? Blue. Blue means what? Down. Sell. Get to the chopper. Ah! It's 9:49. Get out of the chopper. Ah! It's a $61 move. Times $20 per contract. Get to the chopper now. Ah! That's your day. You're done. Now, the weird part is it didn't stop in the morning. The oldest signals and predictions that I have, Greg, in the whippiest, weirdest market that I have access to, are here. These are the oldest NASDAQ signals since Tuesday morning when they were published. Look at 255, look at 307, look at 321, look at 335, 351 blew right through, 356 it went up, 405 it went down, 416 it went up. The last signal is 449 down until 618. Look at that. Look at it. Don't turn your head. It's still working. And you guys get hammered. Those of you without the software that know this is possible, you need to call one of those hotlines. You can't see it. The NASDAQ is my market. The 1 minute NASDAQ is no longer a mystery to me. I wait for the times that they push it. I wait for the times that they push it. And when I get to the buy and sell signals, I buy and sell. And I trust the fact that the most powerful people in the universe leave nothing to chance. Greg, they have a plan. Why would I not follow their plan? Right? So day after day, week after week, month after month, I just literally show up here and say, all right, it's time to sell. The Dow, no different. We gave out the Dow 3 minute signals in advance. These are the Dow 3 minute signals from 2 days ago. You could have done okay today. I don't know what else you look at. You might be looking at support and resistance levels that we don't watch. You might be looking at market pivots, volume, delta, order flow, TPO charts. All I know is if you were watching this, you were right more than you were wrong. Oil futures today, long at 948, out by 1024 is a 63 tick move. Long at 1109, stop hit, you give 30 of it back. Long at 1133, out by 1245, that's 90 ticks. What are we talking about? Just before the PMI report, market went up 83 ticks. The Middle East is on fire. The Middle East is on fire, and the signals continue to work. We can look at higher and higher time frames to get a sense of what's expected next, looking as far forward in the future as we have with the intraday charts. There's a 1 hour oil chart. October 13th, October 15th, October 16th, 17th, 18th. There's the times. You trade options, you want to go even further out, go further out. There's oil on a daily chart. There's a guy that I followed on NinjaTrader Live. Great guy. Met him on the phone, talked to him for a while. Big fund guy, former floor trader. And he spent his time telling people what the fundamentals were in oil, and he was watching this trend line and this candle pattern and this breakout and this thing, and he talked to this dude at Smith Barney, and he talked to this dude, former OPEC trader, and I was exhausted. I wrote him an email and I sent him the times for the next several weeks, and I said, hey, Mr. Man, please watch these times. Please watch these dates in oil. Every signal you see here, I gave to somebody 2 weeks ago who professionally trades oil futures and does what 90% of people do each week. They scan through the forums and they look at the reports, and this oil tank had so many millions of gallons, and it's exhausting. You don't think the Saudi prince, the sheiks, have a plan? I will show you their plan. Here it is. Oh, there's the plan. Figure out what your risk is and give it a shot. Wednesday, 717. The prior swing high is right there. The candle closes right here. Let's go short on 717 until Monday, August 5th. It's an $8.70 move. The low at that point is a brand new low. Let's go long on August 5th and get out at August 26th. That's a $5.50 move. Ooh, but what about the fundamentals? Let's go short with the stop above the high right here, and we'll hold it until the 3rd of September. That's a $7.22 move. Okay, ready? Here, we're going to buy and put our stop right below the low and give up 46 ticks. Now we're going to go short at 9.5 and put our stop right above that candle because the swing high is way up here. And we're going to get out with 56 ticks. Now, long from 9.13, stop below the swing low, exiting right there on October 3rd, $6.29. If we use this swing as the high and get short on October 3rd, we give profits back $2.54. What fundamentals did I mention? How many barrels of oil extra did we have? Did they have? Who's threatening to throttle supply? What's going on? What are the Houthis doing? Who did they shoot? Did Iran launch missiles today? None of that seemed to matter. A lot of that seemed like smokescreen coverage for what a very select group of people are doing behind the scenes to the rest of us. I believe in B, not A, B. And B seems to point to the answer. B seems to point to the answer. Any questions so far? Any questions so far about what we're looking at? What time frame is the best time frame? Whatever time frame you like to trade. The accuracy is the same on virtually every time frame. Okay, let's take a look at something else. Something that's interesting to me. Let's see, how does that look? Nah, I don't like that one. Give me 1 second. I want to load up a chart that's in the news right now. Here's my guy. This is Tesla on a daily chart. Tesla on a daily chart. Just so you know, it's the same as every other chart we've looked at. There are the times on the right-hand side. These are the times of what happened historically. Tonight is what? Tonight is Robotaxi reveal. Tonight is Robotaxi reveal. And so what do I look for? If you're watching from home, I'm using a 300 with a swing strength of 5 for Tesla trading days. It seems to show a couple things. Number one, when it came time to sell, they sold for 1 day and they accumulated more positions. And it kept coming all the way up through the sell stop. Now they're holding at the closing price of the buy signal from October 3rd. That closing price is $240.66. And then just before the event, they came down and loaded up with more buyers. This signal has a window until 1022. How high is it likely to go? Well, for that answer, we can go back and measure how high the banks usually push when it's time to push. And so at every one of the buy signals now, I'm coming and drawing an arrow to see how far they have pushed when it was time to push. And so now I'll take all these arrows and I'll put them on the closing price of the most recent signal, believing what I believe. The operating system is rigged, and these guys don't have an imagination. They do what they do over and over and over again. And so now on Tesla, I have a minimum, a median, and a maximum. The minimum I'm expecting price to go is this arrow right here, around $253. The median is 1, 2, 3 of those arrows, somewhere between 260 and 265. The maximum is a violation of the high into a higher high at $271. So I'm expecting the banks to drive Tesla up past the previous swing high, create a pocket of liquidity as the big investors get short before the move down on October 22nd. That's how I perceive the markets now. I see the hand of God, lowercase g, on everything they do, right? The one chart that we follow week to week is the E-mini S&P daily. And I have a special set of signals for that. I look at the software. If you own it, I use trading days. 1, 2, 3, 5. These are the signals that I've been following and posting in our social media for the E-mini S&P daily chart. Go back and look at prior webinars and you'll see all the times match. October 11th is a sell date for 2008. What's the sell date on the warp chart 16 years later? Monday, October 14th. We had a long signal on September 6th. Hold it until September 17th, $227. This long signal here, just got one yesterday. So far you're down $10. I wonder what tomorrow and Monday will hold. Oh, that's right. I don't have to wonder. I already know. I already know. And you can know. It's knowable. It's knowable. The software produces a statistically relevant edge. That's all it is. It's an edge. It's something that gives you an edge over everybody else. But it's the best kind of edge because it's proactive. You're literally looking forward all the time. 5, 10, 15 minutes, 15 seconds from now. Is the risk reasonable for this trade? What is the risk? Am I near a prior bottom or a prior high? How long does the trade have to move? That long today on the ES had an hour to mature and develop and turn into a long trending move. I'm in. Let's go. As opposed to A, where you're watching every tick, every candle imbalance, listening to one or two of the gurus in the forums and the discords. Come watch me in my Discord. Look at my Discord. There's 1,000 discords with influencers all over the place saying nothing. Well, based on my assessment of the market right now, it could go up or down or do nothing, and we're just going to watch and see what happens. Oh, look at that. I took a long when nobody was looking at my monitor that nobody can see. I'm pretty smart, aren't I? Every day people fall for that, and it drives me crazy. They almost want to believe that they're smarter than all the other traders. They want to believe their high-speed internet makes a difference. They want to believe the course they paid $30,000 for gives them an edge over the psychological warfare experts at JP Morgan, who has unlimited resources, personnel, staff, technology, connections in Washington. JP literally paid $1 billion in fines. That's $1,000 million for manipulating gold futures. And they're still doing it. The guy in your Discord's going to beat that? Mm-mm. They love to give things acronyms too. The big one now is ICT, Elemental P, ABC. If it's got 3 letters, people love it. It's the XXX algorithm with AI. Now with AI, everybody is AI now. Ooh. No, it's not. It's a regurgitated moving average crossover system from 1987 that your dad traded when the ES moved 4 points a day. That's what it is, with a really good website designer. It's an edge. And if you have an edge that's proactive, you're less likely to sabotage yourself. You're less likely to move your stops. You can't overtrade because there's only 10 times, and half of them will be with the trend. You're going to let your winners run farther because there's a window of time to let it run, versus the angry demons in your head going, get out, get out, get out, get out. I don't want that. I want proactive if I can get it. And trading isn't a guess about what has already happened. Everybody knows what already happened. It's in the past. At the very best, it's in the present right now. It means nothing about the future. The next tick does not care what the last tick did. And this is a horrible PowerPoint to show you I'm a bad marketer, but you have to guess. What do you want to do? This is what just happened now. What happened a while ago in the past? That's what most people are trading with. Versus this is likely to happen next based on what these guys usually do at this time of day lately. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to pick the right operating system. What do you believe about markets determines the path you're going to take. It determines what you're going to do tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. And when you see that huge move and you're already too late and the fear of missing out kicks in and you get in right before it reverses and your drawdown gets bigger and bigger and you get the email from Apex saying, "We are so sorry, but it appears that all 20 of your accounts have been terminated. Your drawdown was too big. But don't worry, here's a promo code so you can sign up and do it all over again. Thank you very much." There was a guy on Apex on their Facebook page who literally cashed out like $100,000. And I was like, what? How many people failed to pay him, one guy, $100,000? It might have been more. It might have been $700,000. It was like a ridiculous amount. That money wasn't from trading. That money came from people who failed and re-upped their subscription. What are you doing? This is what I want. I want to be a part of your team. When you get in your trading Ferrari tomorrow, when you get in your trading Formula One racer tomorrow, I want you to know that you've got 20 years of people surrounding you. There's a few of them. One of the things that you can look at, if you're really interested to know, hey, is this thing for real or not, is our Trustpilot page. Anybody who could write whatever they want that we have no ability to take down, we can't post any fake reviews either. They came here and said the same thing. They sat in the webinar just like you, weighed the pros and cons, watched the predictive times for the days that we gave them the signals, and they all said the same thing. Each one of these people is a real person. They have a receipt. I can show you their credit card receipt. It can blur out everything but the last two numbers. You can call them. They are real people who sat where you're sitting and said, I don't know. All right, I'll do it. And they went and wrote a review. Thank you to those of you who wrote a review. I appreciate it. The other thing that we have, it's not a Discord, it's a Skype group. These are actual people who are posting their results every day. And they come in here and say, hey, this is what I did today. It was a hard day for me. It was an easy day for me. They post their screenshots and their settings and tell you what they were doing. They show you where they went long. This kid is in his early 20s, and he's already better at trading than most people I've met in their 40s, 50s, and 60s using these times. Some of these guys are using automated versions of our software. This is a friend of mine named Drew who's using the Optimus Auto Trader. His system right now has a profit factor of 4. 30 trades, 73% profitable. In 2 days, he made $3,700. So there's a community of people who are there to say, hey, I'm on the other side of the fence. I want you to come join us so I can tell you what I'm doing. This is our version of a Discord. This is I'm the most proud of this, of anything we've ever done, because it helps people connect to other traders that have already done what they're doing. I'm already there. I'm net profitable. I'm making money. How can I help you? And they're there to answer your questions. So the Skype group is available. The Trustpilot is available. The webinar that I did today, if there's another way to prove what I'm saying is true, this is walking on a tightrope without a net. I gave the times 2 days ago. I gave the trade signals to you 2 days ago. I did it on FOMC day, and I dared you to follow along and follow the rules and see if you made money. And if you followed these signals over the last 2 days on the most popular futures market in the world, you made money, enough to buy the software and more. Now, if you want to move forward, you need to visit our website at backtothefuturetrading.com. The product that we're talking about is called Tachyon Warp. You need this to do anything else. There are plugins and things you can do with it in the future. Aurora, for example, allows you to do back testing and analyses and put signals on screen for semi-automated trading systems. Optimus allows you to fully automate the entries and exits of Warp. And if you're a customer, stay tuned, watch your email the next couple of days for a very important announcement about Optimus. We're getting ready to release a second suite of licenses to people who are ready to be involved with that program, which has been around now for 2 years. So to get started with Warp, you got to click on the Learn Now button, Learn More button, and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. You'll see a Buy Now button. It says $29.95 for a one-time purchase lifetime license. But don't buy that. You have a promo code available today. I wanted you to know that we have a live training room. I teach it. I teach it using the signals that I teach on Thursday, as well as others. This was my screenshot from this morning in the live room. One of our customers here right now actually got long right here. somewhere around 950. Asif took the long that we made a call about based on an entry that I taught him, and we went from 58.15 to 58.26 in about 10 minutes. We had a signal at 9:49 in the NQ. We waited for the volume to kick in, took a pullback, and we're up $600, $700, $800. The cost of that room is $200 a month. $200 a month. You can cancel month to month. If you'd like that, sit with me, the owner, the developer, the co-owner and co-developer, forgive me. That room is available. If you don't want it, don't get it. I don't care. It's there for you if you need it. Purchase agreement, promo code time. The promo code is WARPOFF. I'll sing it again. WARPOFF. And when you click apply, it takes $500 off the price. This is a lifetime license, 2 licenses for NinjaTrader, which is free for charting. You can link it to your Interactive Brokers account. You can link it to your Apex or Rhythmic account. You can use this with your Top Step Trader account or your Bullinox account. Plugs right in. NinjaTrader is pretty awesome. No hidden fees or update fees or anything like that. There's a video training archive you can follow at your own pace and learn the basics as you go along. The license is transferable. If you die, you can leave it to your son or your spouse or your next door neighbor, Fred, and they can pick up and take off where you left off. I'm trying to think if there's anything about this that I'm forgetting. No, that's it. Any questions about that? It's there. You can know the times for tomorrow right now. You can have a trading plan for tomorrow today. If you believe that the men who got together on Jekyll Island are getting ready to do something tomorrow, there are the reports for tomorrow. Fun fact, none of this matters, and the guys who write the reports all know each other. Their wives all know each other. They do all the stuff together. There's already a plan for tomorrow. And we can get you 60, 70% of the way there with signals that have been around for close to 20 years in the futures, forex, equities, cryptocurrency markets. Everything you've heard about it tonight is applicable for daily signals in Tesla, 1-minute signals in Bitcoin and Ethereum, all of the things. Any market that a bank can be involved in, you can get within 60 to 70% viewing into that universe and know minutes, hours, days into the future what's coming next. The question is, will you or won't you? Our statistics show that for every 100 people that come through the website, about 5 to 10 of you get it. I don't care about the 90% of the people who call us frauds and fraudsters and shams and sham artists and snake oil vendors. I'm not here for them. Their fate is already sealed. When you turn on the TV in a few months and the Lexus commercial pops up on your screen, how many of you remember this? Every year, people turn on la 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 la. Honey, you got me a Lexus? Every time those people get stopped out tomorrow, every customer who doesn't buy the software and does the same old stuff tomorrow, that's where their money goes. This is Frederick. He works on the 48th floor at JP Morgan in New York City. And his algorithm took all the money from the retail traders on the mini Dow, and he bought his wife a car with it, with the $4 million bonus he got that year. Those are the people who love that you don't believe me. For those of you that believe me, the journey is just beginning, and I can't wait for your 4- and 5-star review. I'm addicted to them, and we'll do everything we can to make sure you have a great experience. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your faces. May the mountains lay low before you and the valleys rise up to meet you as we go forward today into Friday. Is tomorrow, Monday, the drop off? Are we standing on the precipice? Or is the rocket just about to launch? We assess the risk and the reward. We make an educated, proactive decision. We know and look forward into the future and let the statistics move our profits forward. I wish you peace, prosperity. I am for you. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. If you're here today, you're still doing it. You're still alive. You're still learning one more thing, the aggregate of all the things, the composite of all the things. No matter what your neighbor, your spouse, your mother says, I believe in you. Keep breathing, keep moving forward. If we're not the best fit for you, there's going to be somebody out there, something you learn where it's all going to click. I think it's the thing for you tonight. I've taught thousands of people how to do this. I've seen it work, but if we're not for you, no harm, no foul. Keep going. Some of you are days away from the click point, from consistently losing to break even plus to consistently profitable. Hang in there. I know you can do it. To our customers, I love you. Thank you so much for supporting us. I hope you learned something new here tonight. And I will see you on Tuesday, where we'll pick the mantle back up, use the software, and find profitable entries in our ADV advanced training room. Other than that, stay in a high spot. Know where the emergency shelters and bunkers are. This is the warm-up for what I believe is about to be a tumultuous year. And if you've been following along with what I've been teaching the last year, everything that's happening, nothing is a surprise. And it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. So please be careful. And I'll see you next week. Thanks again, everybody. Welcome on board to our new customers. And if you have any questions, you can email me, Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, at backtothefuturetrading.com. Area code 336-703-7667. I'll write it down here, 336-703-7667. I'm happy to answer any questions you have up till about 11 o'clock at night. And then the woman that I care about, who's way prettier than you, has told me no more phone calls. So that's that. Take care, everyone. God bless. I'll see you soon.